All right, here we are, everybody. Good morning. A few more minutes to kind of kick off the Q&A. I'm here in my streaming studio space. I will be able to see your comments if you comment, so let me know that you're here. I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about this program that we're going to do over the month of May, and I'm also going to set up the live stream on Instagram. I've got quite the setup going on here, so stick around for a few minutes, grab yourself a happy hour drink, and we'll see you in a few. Hey guys, welcome. All right, getting set up. Let me just pin this little. I just want to say, first of all, good morning, good afternoon for you guys. Happy hour in SF. So I'm here. I'm live on YouTube. I'm also going live through streaming. It's 8:30 a.m. here. Thank you for the nice haircut. Wow, am I going to just talk or stare? Well, this is an A/B test and happy hour, so we're going to learn how it's done. I'll take you guys on a quick tour of where I am, and then I can practice a little bit just to make sure that on YouTube you can see me well, and then clutch around with my camera. So here we are. We're in Ubud in Bali. Also, can you just please comment and let me know that the audio is working well? If you're on YouTube, can you just let me know that the audio is working well? I want to use this time to make sure that you can actually hear me over the next month. All these people coming in. Wave at you. I will. Wave at you. All right, so what you're going to see most of the time is a view that looks a lot like this. So we've got a little yoga space, but what you won't be able to see when you're on the YouTube, which will have better audio quality and then will be saved for later, is what it looks like beyond where the camera is. So let's take a little tour. All right, so this is what my view is. It's this little garden area. And then when we flip it around, you see full influencer setup. We've got tripod, light ray, MacBook, Jammu, which we'll talk about in a second. And what I actually really want to know right now is what the background noise is like, because I can't tune into my own stream and hear it. But every day that we're live, you should be able to see like beautiful reflection in the glass there. And that actually pleases me out a little bit more. This is another path that we just did. I was really lucky to shine it. Obviously, and to be able to find a place that feels safe. The staff is amazing. It's really well. All right, something else that I wanted to point out as we go full influencer is this little light ring. It doesn't really work here in Indonesia, so you have to do this other thing just called Tokopedia. Toko means store. Pedia is like Wikipedia, it has everything. Hey guys, just doing a little tour on Instagram. I'm streaming on 2 mediums, and I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing it. So let me just set this up here. All right, so all these videos for the month of May session and series are going to be available on YouTube and on Instagram Live. 2 main reasons for doing this. First of all, on Instagram Live, I can actually see you guys and engage, and it's a little bit more fun for me as I see my friends sort of coming up through. You can also report on Instagram Live, like real time, what do you see? What's happening? And that's where I know most people are. The YouTube videos, when I'm facing this way, are actually a little bit better in terms of saving the video, being able to refer to it in the future, evaluating myself, and just having an archive of everything that we've done. So if you tell a friend that you're really interested in what you saw today and you think they'd like it too, you can share the YouTube link. Something else that's cool about the YouTube Live is that I can get better audio with it and it'll be saved forever. So actually, my little janky audio rig is that I use my Bluetooth headphones, which have an amazing speaker, probably better than what I can get here. And that is my plan. So actually, I'll bring the speakers with me over here. And if you're on YouTube, you should be able to hear that the audio quality kind of stays the same. And so what I want to do today actually is, while you guys are having a little happy hour moment, just practice getting set up. So I would say for the future, this can probably come down a little bit. And this can probably come this way a little bit. I do have the questions open. So if people want to add a little question, I can tap on it and answer it. All right, so I'm here in the middle of my mat. Can everyone see me? Yes. Cool. I think the lighting is pretty decent, actually. Now, you won't be able to see me if my hands are over my head. That's probably fine. We'll bring them down. And then just, a pose or two to see, are my feet on the screen? This is going to be probably my checkup every day. Are my feet on the screen even when I float forward? Right off a little bit on Instagram. Here. Come up to the middle. Hands up. Okay. All right, let me grab a block. Have a seat. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what my goals are with this program. I hope everybody has their happy hour drink with them. If you want to comment on Instagram what you're drinking or in the comments, I would appreciate that, so don't feel so goddamn alone. I'll start off with what I'm drinking. It's called Jamu. It's this delightful orange color. And inside, it's got a little bit of everything that's in it. Seems to be really popular here in Bali. So we've got a little bit of turmeric and ginger. That's what makes it orange. Got a little bit of ginger. That's like a slightly different strain. Some garlic, and then a whole bunch of other spices. A little bit of palm sugar. Sweeten it right up. All right, so some big developments today. Oh, wow, you guys are commenting. Cool. This is fun. All right, so some things about today that I want to talk about that are sort of going to lay the foundations for what the next month looks like. So last month, I finished my 200-hour yoga teacher training here in Bali with something called the School of Healing Arts, SOHA, under a teacher named Daniela Mandala or Daniela Rios. And a lot of the focus of that program was on making sure that you, in every yoga class and every yoga pose, a good teacher should be connecting in sort of 3 ways. One is the foundation of the experience. So for each pose that you're in, what are your feet doing? What are your legs doing? And then beyond that, this from TED Talk that we're doing. And then beyond that, the second thing is what are the places in your body beyond your feet that you should be feeling the pose. And I think a lot of times in yoga classes, we skip this part and miss this part because it's so unique and individual to each person. And so my goal is to help people who have never done yoga before understand a little bit more than you're just bending over and touching your toes, but what are all of the little plates in your body that you want to activate as you do that type of motion? The next thing that I want to focus on is the experience overall. So when I talk about experience overall, I mean, what are the places that you should be feeling in your body that maybe don't have to do with the pose? For example, how you change the way that you breathe, or which way are you reaching towards? Are you reaching towards the sidewall? Are you reaching towards the floor? Where should your gaze be looking? All of these, I think, are things that in traditional yoga classes, or if you're new to yoga, you don't really get the opportunity to do, or it's all happening so fast, you miss the opportunity. So what I hope to do in this series in May is each day pick one pose and just tweak a little workshop on that pose, and then move into the rest of what's called the flow. And if you haven't heard this term before, flow often refers to just kind of like the up and down and the movement and the way that the poses are put together into what's often called a vinyasa flow. Vinyasa is sort of that typical flow that you hear about where it's like chaturanga, up dog, down dog. But because a lot of people just drop into yoga classes without taking a few extra minutes to do their research on how that should feel, you end up going to a yoga class and flopping around like a fish. This was my experience for, I'd say, the first 6 months to a year of yoga, and my vision for this program is to make that different for this group. And so if you're coming to yoga in a new way, I still want you to get a workout, but also add a little bit of learning and skill development along the way. So cheers to that. Okay, next topic that I want to talk about is the name of the series. So the name of the series, as you'll see in the YouTube description, is called Monkey Sessions. Why are they called the Monkey Sessions? Well, they're going to be a series of 12 sessions, 3 a week. And actually here where we are, just over that way, is a nice garden maintained by the hotel. And on the other side of that is a popular tourist attraction called the Monkey Forest here in Ubud. Now, usually it's a fun, kind of scary experience. You get to go, you see the monkeys, you see that the staff is giving them sweet potatoes, and they're being fed really often. Now that we're in this unusual COVID situation, there's no tourists, so the staff are working part-time. And because the staff are working part-time, the monkeys are getting fed less. So are these monkeys starving? Probably not, but they're a little bit more hungry than usual. And that has introduced a new dynamic of little quibbles between the monkeys. And as a result, sometimes they leave the monkey forest and go on little food finding expeditions. Wouldn't you know, we are right here. So it's called the Monkey Sessions because I have a little bit of a concern that a monkey will try and come do yoga with us. They have done this before. I have been the victim of avocado theft, some other packaged goods theft. I put my lunch down on my little outside area, and when I turned around, the monkey was just there to let me know that it was his food now, or her food. No, it was a guy, I could tell. So it's called the Monkey Sessions because we're here in Bali, and probably at some point over the next month, a monkey will wander by. And when it does, I commit to pausing the class and pointing the monkey out for you. Okay, any other questions from folks about my vision for the program? Audio-wise, I won't know until I check out this video if it worked well. My hope is that the audio is in fact going through the headphones, in which case it'll sound much better. There's a little bit of background noise. I think that's kind of to be expected, but it's all part of the practice. Lastly, I want to talk about the way that you feel when you leave this practice. So here's my vision. At the end of each session, 25 minutes, quick after work, relax, get out of your chair and move is my goal. I want you to build up a little bit of heat. In yoga talk, that means you sweat. But it's not just a physical sweat, but you sort of feel the heat in the middle. If you want to go more spiritual with it, it's like you're burning up your issues inside. The other thing that I want you to do is build a little bit of strength. So in particular, over the last month, after my program ended, I have been doing a lot of studying online, particularly with two teachers that I love, Yvonne Kingsley and Jason Crandall, both based in San Francisco, on adding an element of strength and conditioning into the yoga practice. So for you, that means finding a pose that is not impossible for you to do, but possible for you to do, and breathing into it, holding it longer. And it's my job as your teacher to make sure that that works for you. And then I'm guiding you through it in a way that you can access and still get something out of it. So for some people, that means your muscles are going to shake a little bit. Totally fine. For other people, you may decide, you know what, I want to put my knees down, or I'm just going to take a quick break for a breath and then come back up. But at the end of 25 minutes, which isn't a lot of time for a yoga class, I want to make sure that you're feeling the heat and entering your evening session after a little bit of a workout. The last thing I want to work on is flexibility. Oh, this is facing the wrong way. Sorry, guys. The last thing that I want to work on is flexibility. So flexibility, I think, is the number one reason why people think that they can't do yoga or they can't get into yoga. And as a result of this, particularly men, a lot of guys feel like, oh, I went once and I couldn't do it. That wasn't for me. My vision over this period is to offer a bunch of suggestions throughout our 25 minutes together that you feel like you're making progress and you're changing the way that your body moves. So since that is the case, what are the things that you might want to bring to class? Maybe a stack of books if you're at home, maybe a box that you could rest your hands on. It doesn't have to be too sturdy, you're not putting your whole weight on it, but just something that you can distribute a little bit of weight from, so you feel like if you're not bendy wendy, as we say, you can't bend all the way over and touch your toes, that's fine. It's incremental. And that brings me to kind of a little bit of the guiding philosophy of each session. So I told you I want you to generate heat, build strength, and gain flexibility. What I also want you to focus on is understanding that it's all practice. My favorite teacher, Yvonne Kingsley, says this all the time. It's all practice. And that means you're not going to get it perfect. In fact, one of my favorite parts of yoga is there's no finish line, right? There is no first place. There is no award for winning the state championship in yoga. That's not what it's about, right? Yoga is taking the energy that you would have put into, I got to be in first place, I'm a failure if I'm not, and instead of redirecting that inside to find something that feels different. So if you can't do every pose, you're not supposed to. Right? If you are feeling really winded after the first 5 minutes, that's fine. Right? It's all practice. And I want to build my practice in a way that is testing and iterating. Testing and iterating in a little bit of a startup mentality, right? You see what works. If it doesn't work, you change your strategy and you do something else. And I want to introduce those concepts for this group as well. So you try and move your shoulder in a certain way, doesn't go, don't force it. I think the best advice that I ever heard when it comes to yoga is show up, work with what you got, and do the best you can, right? So it doesn't matter if something seems too hard or it feels like everyone else in the class is doing something different. A benefit of these sessions is that you're home. Maybe your cat is watching you do yoga, or you tell your partner to get out. And I actually love that idea of not feeling intimidated by being in a classroom setting. And so by the end of this period, which will not last forever, I want people who have tuned in to be able to show up to a yoga practice in a studio or do it on their own with more confidence that they understand what's happening and they're doing it in a way that feels right, which is different than doing it the right way. Because to me, that's what matters is in terms of getting the practice started. Other note, there's no first place in yoga. Because of that, the focus of our program will be on skill development and making sure you get a good workout. Leaning into sharp pain, never a good idea. I think a lot of people, again, particularly men, feel like they have to lean into a pose just to keep up with everyone else, and they end up getting injured. Lower back injuries, super common. Shoulder injuries for people who aren't distributing their weight right, super common. Messing up your toes. Some of you, I know, have broken a toe doing yoga that are tuned in. And it may be because your toe is already weak, or because you distributed your weight in a way that your body wasn't ready for. Your toe tried to compensate for you, and when that happened, something snapped. So I always want to be able to offer what we call modifications in yoga, or variations, and that basically means it's a little bit easier. And to make it easier for you means you're going to get more out of the practice, because instead of thinking about the things you can't do, you're thinking about the things that you can do. It looks like we have a question. Is there alcohol in my drink? No, it's 8:30 a.m. here, and although it is a happy hour, this is actually how I start my day every day. It's pretty potent. It stings a little on the way down from the ginger, but there's no alcohol. All right, well, we are about 20 minutes in. It seems like AV-wise it works. You guys are free to check out my website, which is coming soon. But before that, go ahead and sign up for my e-list. The link is in the bio, so right under where it says 200-hour certified yoga teacher, click the link, and there you'll be able to do two things. One is access the YouTube video, which is a higher quality and will be higher quality audio. And the second thing is sign up for the e-list. I just launched it yesterday. A little bit nervous about how it's going to go. So fill it out, DM me, let me know that it was able to actually go through. And I'm going to take this next period just to play around with the sound and see if it in fact worked. So you're welcome to stick around and ask some more questions, or we will see you on Monday at this same time. Monday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. And I will put together and we'll get started on the first program of Monkey Sessions May Challenge. Thanks, guys. Testing, 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 testing if you can hear me here, testing if you can hear me here. And I'm just going to keep talking throughout just to get a sense of later when I watch the video, how you can hear the different things that are happening depending on where I stand, or if I come forward to talk, or if I come back. So let's say I'd wander in a downward dog. Can the audio hear me properly from back here? I don't know. If I come forward to a plank pose, talk through it, can you hear me here? Maybe. Come back into a downward facing dog. My voice is facing the other way. And come forward here. All right, I'm actually going to turn off the headphones, see if that changes anything with regards to the input. That's just time for next time. I was curious to know on Instagram if you can you hear me properly in this video for 1 to 10 noise with 10. We do have a lot of little bugs. Thank you. We're at the 25 now. I want to make sure 25-minute and run and chat on YouTube, learning a little to do over this week. Cool. If you're watching on subscribe, it turns rises you are on task before is you pick that you think into starting on Monday your way and will partner I do